And we are live. Hello. Thank you for joining me live, or thank you for clicking on this video if you're watching after the fact that it's gone out live. Appreciate it. Happy Wednesday, the 6th of December. So in today's live stream, we've got a few things to talk about. We've got a new partnership that Palantir announced and some new capabilities as well. Oh, that's making some noise. Some new capabilities as well to discuss. And then, of course, near the end of this live stream, we'll have a look at what Palantir is doing pre-market, and we'll jump to the live comments. So if you've got any questions, any comments you want to make about Palantir or anything else to do with investing, please do leave them in the live chat. And remember, if you're watching this and it's not live right now for you, make sure you enable the live chat replay so you can keep up and see what's actually going on. So let's start with this new partnership. Here we go. So this was announced on Palantir's, this was announced by Palantir yesterday. You can see their LinkedIn post 18 hours ago. We are incredibly excited to partner with Horse Racing Integrity and Safety Authority to put our software to work to ensure equine safety. HISA is pleased to partner with Palantir's technologies to create a data-enabled tool to assist industry stakeholders in identifying horses at risk for injury before they race. This initiative is the latest in a series of steps taken by HISA to ensure equine injuries and fatalities by leveraging data and technology. Now, I won't lie, this really surprised me. I never saw this partnership coming. But this partnership is quite cool and it's quite important, and we'll discuss why in just a minute. But let's just read more about this. So this is an article that came out. Hopefully you guys can see this. I'll zoom in a little bit. The Horse Racing Integrity and Safety Authority has partnered with Palantir, a leading provider of AI systems, to create a data-enabled tool to assist industry stakeholders in identifying horses at risk for injury before they race. The tool will generate a daily report for each racetrack, flagging any horses entered in the day's races who may present potential risk factors for injury. This enables identification. So once again, Palantir is enabling a sector to be proactive rather than reactive, and that saves a lot of money, of at-risk horses with increased efficiencies and accuracies, and will inform the hands-on pre-race inspections of each runner. This project is one of many innovative ways HISA is working with the God. We're back. With the world's top technologists to leverage data it collects for the continued advancement of equine safety. I don't know how much. Let's just see if there's any more good information in here. This powerful AI-enabled tool will streamline and automate a process that had previously taken significant time away from veterinarians' hands-on care of horses. This is good. This once again shows the value, the real-world value that Palantir is giving businesses. It is enabling them, as with AI in general, to become more productive, to free up time to spend elsewhere, to spend on money generation, revenue generation, saving lives, whatever the industry. Obviously, it depends on the industry as to the highest priority. In this case, hands-on care of horses. This is really cool. This bit's really, really cool. HISA came to a boot camp for Palantir's AIP this fall and had repeatedly scaled its implementation independently. HISA is providing the real-world outcomes. In this case, equine safety can be achieved in weeks with the acceleration that AIP and boot camps provide. That is a success case from the AIP boot camps. So that goes to show you what these AIP boot camps are doing and how successful they're being. The new tool HISA and Palantir have developed reviews health information and historical data entry data to determine whether each horse entered in a race is at its increased risk for injury based on various factors. So they're working with Palantir to understand the vast and historical data that they have that would otherwise just be sitting there unstructured and unuseful. With Palantir's help, they can take that data and then they can bring it into one central place, and then they can understand that data better and use it to get benefits in their business, benefits in this sector. That pinpoints exactly what Palantir are doing. It's helping to significantly reduce the time it takes to identify horses potentially at risk. Again, proactive rather than reactive. They expect to begin using this tool in early 2024. It will send daily reports to racetracks and regulatory vets around the country and will provide them with the data and resources they need to promote horses' safety and well-being. Why is this so important? Well, it was so unexpected, firstly. I never expected this partnership to be announced, and it seems kind of odd. You know, Palantir working with HISA. We never expected it. It seems weird. However, what this goes to show you, two things. One, even the businesses that you weren't thinking would care about better understanding their data and using AI in their business do. Everyone, every business is now thinking, okay, how can we be more productive? How can we be more proactive? How can we understand our data? How can we leverage the data that we have to give better decision making? They're all thinking it. So that is going to show you how big this market is getting. And when people say, oh, it's just an AI hype, it's not. It's here. Businesses are pumping money into this. And then what else it goes to show you is the total addressable market for Palantir, as we've said many times on this channel, is huge. We've heard them work with many companies that we've heard about before, but this is an example of a company that an organization that we wouldn't even have thought about. Many of us, maybe I'm just speaking for myself here because I'm not really a horse lover, didn't even know they existed. And every company in the world is generating massive amounts of data. And then when you start thinking about what companies can help me understand that data, what companies can help me leverage AI in my business to make that data more efficient, what businesses can optimize that data, optimize my workflows via AI, who is it? Palantir is definitely one of the options. So if the horse racing, whatever they were called, HISA, are using AI and using Palantir, that basically goes to show us that the total addressable market is as big as we thought it was. And it's just a case now of Palantir capturing the rest of that market. That's why it's an important partnership, in my opinion, because it's one that was unexpected. It's one in a new sector. And it's one that goes to show how, I guess, capable, flexible, and personalized Palantir can be to suit your business needs. So let me know what you think about that. I think it's very interesting. Didn't expect it, was quite surprised, but I think it's very, very bullish for Palantir in terms of their total addressable market in the future. And I think that's what's important, because ultimately, if their total addressable market is, I guess, somewhat infinite, like not truly infinite, but somewhat infinite, then it's just a case of them putting everything else, the foundations in place to scale. And that's kind of what they're doing with AIP and these AIP boot camps. They've got a product now that is like the Trojan horse to get people on board into Foundry, Apollo, Gotham. Then they've got AIP. That's like the flagship. It's not the flagship product, but it's the shiny product that people are flocking to. And they've got these AIP boot camps that are making, the barrier to entry lower, getting more people on board. Then they're upselling the other products. It's working for them. And for a long time, that wasn't the case with Palantir. For a long, long time, they had the valuable products with the government organizations, and they started going into the commercial side, and they weren't really selling it. Because having a good product is one thing, but being a good marketing company and good at sales, I think, is another thing. And that's where we're seeing a change now. So the next thing on today's list is a post again that I saw on X. This time it was posted by Palantir. So let me show you that. I don't think I've had enough to drink today. My throat is very dry. So that's quite small, isn't it? There we go. Now let me know if, okay, back up. Palantir posted this again last night, yesterday, the 5th of December. They have a video that is 1 minute 51. If you want to watch this during the live, let me know and we'll circle back and watch it at the end. If not, I'll just assume that you'll watch it in your own time if you want to. But let's just talk about this. So they've said, Retrieval Augmented Generation, RAG, enables generative AI to retrieve data from outside sources. Palantir's Ontology Augmented Generation, OAG, takes that RAG to the next level, enabling LLMs, large language models, to leverage not only data, but the logic and actions that drive decision making. Definitely watch this video. It's very interesting. If you want to, we can watch it on this live if we have a chance at the end. But let's just break down these concepts a little bit. So, Retrieval Augmented Generation, RAG. And these acronyms get really confusing because they're so similar. It's basically a technique used in AI to enhance the ability of AI. So to enhance the ability of the large language models. And it enables them to generate a response not just based on what that model has learned, like during its training, but also it can retrieve additional information from external data sources. And it can do that in real time. So that's RAG. And obviously that's useful when the AI needs to provide, detailed and accurate, up-to-date information to the user. Makes sense. And obviously that can then be combined with the training data that you give it. So that's great. And then Ontology Augmented Generation, OAG. That is more of an advanced technique, an AI technique, more advanced, that basically sits on top of and builds on top of the idea of RAG. So like we said, whilst RAG is focusing on retrieving relevant information, OAG then goes a step further than that by actually incorporating into the answers an understanding of the relationships and logic that are inherent to the ontology of the business. So that's pretty important because what that means is it's giving you an answer, if you will, a response within the business context. So that means then that the AI can actually understand how different aspects and different areas of a business are actually related, and then it can link that back to you. So let's just say that there are changes in a supply chain or that could then affect the product pricing or the product availability. It knows all that. So that's when it gets really useful in specialized fields where decision making of the business doesn't just rely on what you've given it to train or what data that you've got, but it relies on an understanding of all the intricate processes and relationships of the business and of that specific business. I hope I explained that well. It's kind of confusing, but very, very interesting. And it just goes to show us once again how competitive Palantir really are. Although there are many companies getting involved in AI, which companies are becoming the most valuable in terms of real world? However, although Palantir are getting more and more competitive as time goes on, and we keep saying they're so valuable, they keep bringing out new information that makes us even more bullish and more convicted on the company. They are not being recognized. So look here. Arnie posted this not that long before this live, and I thought it'd be interesting to share. He said, Palantir ignored again, absent in this table despite being #1 in AI software platform according to IDC. So let's just open this. What you can see here is artificial intelligence value chain. Palantir are completely missing. They're not even mentioned. And if you have a look at what companies are, of course, we've got the big companies, Microsoft, AWS, Nvidia, we'd expect to see them. But we've also got companies like Databricks, Snowflake, companies maybe that we haven't even heard about, yet Palantir is not on here. I think it's just a case of Palantir are in very early days, and we expect probably more people to wake up to the value both on the government side and the commercial side, that Palantir are providing in due course, and it's just not happening maybe yet. And eventually they will get the recognition that they deserve. But it's a real question of, as these other companies that are more recognized and more known, like your Amazons, like your Microsoft, as they develop products, like with Amazon Q, I've got a video coming out on that tonight, actually, and everything that's been going on there, because it's been a bit of a juicy time. Will that pull market share away from Palantir? Because Palantir maybe don't have the name for themselves yet. They don't have the funds. They don't have, compared to these big companies. I don't think so. I don't think that's going to happen. But again, let me know in the comments. Do you think that in due course, something will be directly competitive and comparable with Palantir's offerings that will actually take market share away from them? The reason that I think not is, one, because of how strong Palantir are when it comes to data privacy and data governance. They've worked with the US government sector for many years, decades, whereby the most confidential and classified data is being used. So they've got that track record. But also, they've had so many more years developing this stuff. Obviously, they only became a public company not that long ago. But before that, they were still developing and building this stuff. They've got years of experience compared to a lot of companies. The other companies just obviously are bigger companies in terms of market cap. Our little old Palantir, very small still. Amazon, massive. But something to think about. Right, let's jump over to Palantir stock now. Let's see what's going on here. Right, guys, it looks like we could be seeing $17 today. Pre-market, $17.80. Look what's happened over the last 5 days, down by 8%. Is this going to continue? It looks pre-market wise, it looks like it is going to fall a little bit more today. We'll have to wait and see. Yesterday was a bit all over the place. A lot of people have said that they're going to re-enter this position or buy more when it does drop to that 16, 17, maybe even 15 range. We learned that yesterday on the live stream, I think it was. But it's just a question, I think, of, and let me know what you think about this. In 2023, we've had a massive, massive tech stock run up. Many tech stocks have performed extremely well. Is that going to continue into the new year? I don't think any position or any sector can just continually go up. Obviously, it doesn't work like that. So will we start seeing drawbacks? Will we start seeing falls? Will we start seeing bubbles being burst? I don't know. But I'm, like I said before, I'm just going to keep dollar cost averaging into this. So what's everyone else doing? Are you going to continue to just DCA, or are you waiting for Palantir to maybe hit a price target where you start buying more, where you enter? What is that price target? And like, the concern that I have is, if you're sitting and waiting for Palantir to drop to $8 before you buy in, that may not come. We don't know. We just don't know. We can't predict these things. So let's have a look at the live chat. I've just remembered that I haven't eaten my advent calendar today, so I get to do that soon. I'm excited. Hello from the Netherlands, from Vietnam, very cool, from Australia. I always wonder if the stream of negative news by outsiders is to try to lower the price so that they can buy cheaper shares. I'm sticking with my long position. Definitely the argument that certain individuals or certain companies may try to manipulate the stock prices. Obviously, they're not meant to, but absolutely, these things I think do happen. Sticking with my long position. Yeah, me too. Well, that's a good point, actually, sticking to my long position. Does everyone have a price that they would sell Palantir at, or is this very much a long hold for you? For me, I've said this before on this channel, but if it went absolutely crazy and my returns were insane, I'd probably take some profit. But But other than that, this is very much a 5 plus, 10 plus even year hold for me. Morning. Thank you for joining. Afternoon for me. It's a healthy dip, so we can rock it up again. Yeah, maybe just a bit of a, what's it called? What's it called when the stock, I can't think of the word. But yes, essentially, yeah, a healthy dip, build momentum, and then shoot back up again. And did you guys see what happened to, let me share this actually. Let me share this. Look at this. Here we are. Uber. Obviously, we didn't get the Palantir S&P 500 inclusion this time round, but we did hear that Uber were going to be included. And look what happened with this news. Massive, massive, quick jump up. Whether it will now continue or not is a different matter. It seems to be coming back down. But typically, this is a perfect example of what happens when there is an inclusion into an index like the S&P 500. Whether that's the announcement or the official inclusion, typically the stock price will momentarily at least jump up. So maybe we expect to see that with Palantir. Again, there's no knowing. It doesn't mean that it's going to go up and stay up. But this was interesting. So who here holds Uber? I personally do not. Good morning, Troy. Thank you for joining. And Fast Eddie. Did anyone buy Palantir yesterday? Let us know. Alan is saying, I will buy Palantir at $17.50 and below. Bitcoin is going through the roof. Yeah, what's going on over there? Let's see. Let's see what Bitcoin's doing right now. Yeah, it's literally. And I think there's a lot of altcoins as well that are currently doing very well. I don't have Bitcoin. Maybe a bit of a regret there. I'm going to be buying Palantir and PayPal today. I put out a poll on YouTube yesterday and I asked over on X too, who's currently buying PayPal? Do you think it's worth buying right now? Because it seems like, now I'm not going to claim that I've done loads of research on PayPal because I simply haven't, but it's dropped from its all-time highs by a significant amount. They have a new CEO and they've got new leadership. They're completely changing it up over there. They've got new initiatives. They're cutting, firing employees. As sad as that is, it does obviously help the business out. They're doing so much that are sort of angling them towards maybe changing the way things have been for a while. However, lots of competition in that sort of space. I don't know. And it seemed when I ran the poll, it was quite split. About 30% of people, instead of me making this up, actually, let me say exactly what people said. 33% of people on the poll, on the YouTube poll I ran, said that they might add it soon to their portfolio. They're considering adding PayPal. 30% said they already have it. And then 37% said they're not looking to add it and they don't think it's a good opportunity right now. Obviously, doesn't matter what other people think a lot of the time. You need to do your own research and have your own convictions, but it's definitely on the radar. Hi, cool kids. Hi, John. Toronto. Love Toronto. Thanks for joining. Fish and chips. I don't know where we're going with this, but we're just naming food items here. Making me hungry. I am not from Toronto. I am from the UK indeed. A very British accent. Do we think this could happen? Do we think Palantir will hit $25 by the end of the year? Palantir going to 10? You definitely don't think so? I think this is great. When we think of healthcare, not many of us think of animal care too. Yeah, very, very true. I think It just goes to show how applicable Palantir's offerings are to every business. And then what we have to think is it's not even just enterprises. It's not even just commercial. It's the government organizations as well. So you've got these two streams that, that have massive total addressable markets, and Palantir's sitting center in between both of them, and they can explore both. So in decades to come, I don't know what's going to happen, but it could be very big. Thank you, Susan. I very much enjoy doing the research that I do and sharing it. And I'm not claiming to be an expert. I'm not claiming to know everything. I'm just claiming that I will do the research, and I'll admit when I'm wrong, and I'll share the research, and I'll share what I'm learning. And hopefully that provides value. Of course, always do your own research, but ultimately all I want to do is share what I'm learning. And then people can do, with that what they like. Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to have a nice cup of tea after this live. John, new to this channel. I've seen your name pop up a few times, so thank you for being around, supporting this channel. It means a lot. It's nearly at 11,000 subscribers, which is a really insignificant amount if you compare it to other channels. However, I am so proud of that. I've honestly worked my butt off on this channel. It's my little pride and joy. I love it, and I love doing it every single day. So for other people to think that it's interesting and valuable enough to hit subscribe is, it's everything. It means a lot. Yep, I've heard of Snowflake. What about Snowflake? Anyone invest into Snowflake here? Palantir is just feeling pre-Christmas tipsy. Will sober up in a few days. 17.74, $15, $10. Purchased at 7. Yeah, I was purchasing at 7 as well. Cost basis is 10, so I'm happy to buy here. Yeah, that's a nice cost basis. Nice average price there. Thank you, Sir Lalington. I do have green eyes, which I hear is the rarest color. So they're not very good eyes, though. They don't work very well, but they're green. That's something. No one should be selling. I read your name as Carp. I read your name as Alex Carp. That is not good. That means I'm seeing his name way too often. Sorry about that. You are now Alex Carp. No one should be selling under $500 per share. We're in early days. We are in early days. When Palantir will hit $500 per share, maybe after stock splits, who knows? Could be a long time. But if you believe in the company and you have the conviction, you've done your research and you're willing to hold, it could absolutely happen. I would sell at $30 if it reaches in the short term. Take the profit and then I guess circulate that into other positions that you have. Looks like it's a mixture here. Some people are wanting Palantir to be a hold for the long term. I was speaking about this morning with someone actually. Like, you can look at an exit strategy in two ways. And like with Palantir specifically, you can say, okay, when I'm up by, let's say 70% on my initial investment, I will withdraw. That's good for me. That's my exit strategy. That's my profit. Or I'll take it at increments along the way, 20%, 50%, whatever. So I'm taking those profits and I'm then waiting for the next goal. Or you can say, actually, this is going to be a position that I hold for the next 5 years, 10 years, maybe even for some people that have already reached a stable level of financial freedom. They may actually decide that that's going to become generational wealth opportunities and pass that down to their children. But as long as you've got a plan, I guess is the point. Everyone has a price. Stop lying. This is what we're saying. Different strategies for different people. Everyone has a different goal. Everyone has different risks, and not everyone's price is going to be the same. Some people won't have a price because they know that what they're doing is creating a portfolio to then pass down to their children and leave their children in charge. Look, here you go. Fast Eddie, my shares are going to my children. Exactly what I'm saying. 90% of people in here are traders, not long-term investors. I disagree, but there you go. There's many, many good channels, I imagine, based on trading. This is not one of them. Long on Palantir to about 2030. I will start trimming at $125. I think 2030 is a lot of people's like target year in terms of then looking at where they've got to and seeing what they need to do with their portfolio next. Green jumper, red mic, Xmas look. Yep, I've got my tree in the background. I've got some tinsel here around my bookcase. The red light, the green top, unintentionally Christmassy when I got dressed this morning. But yeah, we're getting into the festive spirit. 4 shares yesterday. Nice. Oh, nope. No, thank you. Watching Uber to see what could happen to Palantir when it's included in the S&P. Yeah, there's no knowing for sure. Just when you look at most companies, just 2 examples, Tesla and Uber. Tesla, you know, a few years ago, Uber very, very recently got the announcement. They did jump up. Doesn't mean that it's going to stay high. It doesn't mean that, you know, if Palantir is $20 now and then it gets included, it's going to go to 30 and never drop below. It doesn't mean that. But just typically the momentum and that news does break the stock price out and shoots it up a little bit. And we'll have to see what happens with Palantir. Buying more PayPal this week. I'm seeing some people in the live chat that come to these lives every day. So thank you for that. And I'm also seeing some new people. So that's exciting. I'm long-term on Palantir, but if Palantir runs up massive to $100, I will sell my shares. Will you be selling all of your shares or will you be taking a portion of them out? Palantir ran too high. Evaluation went too high. It's a long-term play, 2030. I could not agree with you more about it being a long-term play. Very, very, very early days. Very early days. Being overvalued and the price running up too high. Do you know what? I think just in 2023 with the AI hype, the AI boom, whatever you want to call it, and the tech sector in general, we have seen many stock prices go up by like 200%, 100%, which is, you know, a bit crazy. Now what we need to see is Palantir as a business sort of growing into that. We need to see the revenue go up. We need to see more AIP customers. We need to see all these things, these catalysts that we've been speaking about that are aligned. We need to be ticking them off. And they come one by one, but absolutely long-term play. That's how I see it. If they win another big contract from nowhere, then you could see above $22. So we are waiting on the Project Titan contract. That is meant to come in by the end of the year. If that happens, potentially that could be the momentum to push it up a little bit. we got some Patreons, we've got some Discord members in the house. Hoping Palantir goes to $5,000 per share so I can afford a Starbucks. Yeah, you might need some more than that. You might be able to get yourself a filtered coffee at Starbucks with that money. Be careful with Bitcoin. It will dive soon. This uplift can't be sustained. Like with anything, it doesn't go up indefinitely. Palantir will be part of my retirement income, hopefully. Yeah, I'm trying to build my portfolio for 2 reasons. One, I want to reach financial freedom. And that sounds like a crazy target because I'm not there yet. I'm nowhere near. But I'm planting the seeds, laying the foundation to eventually reach financial freedom. That's my plan. And then once I've got to that point, I want to eventually start growing that portfolio to become generational wealth when I have children. Your eyes are the color of money. It's a sign. Yeah, I've got the jumper, the green eyes, the stock market. You know, maybe it will be a money maker today for us all. Just checking what Palantir is doing pre-market. Right now, $17.79. Is anyone planning to buy Palantir today? No worries at all. Thank you for joining. My buddy sold Tesla from 10 to 20. Terrible strategy. Yeah, I think patience is going to, as this person says here, Andy, patience is definitely going to pay off. And the people that were seeing the potential of Tesla back in pre-2013, even some people, or pre-2020 more recently, those are the ones that got rewarded because they did their research. They knew what was happening. They were able to almost predict the market and the market trends that were going to happen towards electric vehicles. And they knew that Tesla had the means to take that market share. That paid off for them. No risk, no reward, I guess. Iceman, welcome. Thank you for joining. Will I buy Starlink IPO? I have no idea. That's not a consideration I've thought much about. I would love to be able to invest into SpaceX. Unfortunately, I cannot. There is a company called Rocket Lab that it's not directly comparable to SpaceX, but it is a company that you maybe could give you some exposure into that sector. Starlink, potentially. I don't know. It's a question that I'll have to come back to because I've not considered it. What makes you an advocate for Palantir this much? Is it the technology itself? If so, could you briefly explain its use? Thank you. That's a big question. That is a big question that would warrant an entire video. And I have many videos that you could watch that will answer this question. But in brief, what makes me an advocate for Palantir? I'm not trying to be an advocate for Palantir. I'm just trying to share why I'm investing the way I am and what research I'm coming across that makes me more convicted into the positions that I have in my portfolio, Palantir being one of them. If at a fundamental level, Palantir shifted, I would be honest and open about that and say, do you know what? Maybe it's not the company I thought it was. It's going in a different direction. Don't really want to be an investor anymore. In terms of what it is about them, such a big question, such a loaded question. It's a lot of different things. Yes, it's the technology. It's the way that they are enabling companies to utilize their data more effectively and more efficiently to get real world business critical decisions that are better for that business, to either drive revenue, to drive productivity, to save lives in terms of the healthcare sector. And then that leads me on to another reason, which is they can work with pretty much any sector. And not only can they work with any sector, finance, healthcare, horses, now that we've learned today, like any sector, they also have this whole government side where they work with government organizations. So you've got like a diversified stream of revenue right there. Early days, an innovative company that is founder led, that is changing the way things are done. I could go on, but essentially at a very high level, these are some of the reasons. But please check out the channel, watch some other videos, engage with other people in the comments, because a lot of people that now watch my channel are Palantir researchers, enthusiasts, whatever you want to say. And talking about explaining its use, like I was saying about the data efficiencies, understanding data, bringing scattered, unstructured data that businesses have into one central place, that is at very high level. But Palantir have Apollo, Gotham, Foundry, AIP. They have a FedStart program. They're doing so much stuff that I couldn't possibly answer that without a 20-minute video at least. If you want to come and join the Patreon, though, please feel free. There's a Discord channel No pressure at all, but we can talk about that for sure. I wonder if Palantir will be a dividend stock. I don't see this in the near future, personally. Maybe eventually, but hopefully right now they will pump that money back into the business because it's still early days. But who knows? Never say never, I guess. But no, I don't see that happening right now. The same with Tesla. I think they're going to make sure that they've grown the business as much as they can. Like, they're going to do many things. And then I think paying a dividend will be one of the latter options, the later options. Patience on the right stocks is critical along with a diversified portfolio. Yeah, patience is everything. Mindset and patience and understanding the psychology of investing, I think, is more important than the investing a lot of the time itself, being consistent, all of that stuff. Diversified portfolio, you could argue it both ways. There's pros and there's cons of that. Why don't you go live when the US market opens? A few different reasons. I'm not available at that time to go live. This time makes most sense with my structure. And there are many other channels, including Amit's channel, that go live when the market opens. And I know that a lot of people like watching us both. So I wanted to make sure I was catering to that as well. So hopefully this time's good for you. I hope it is. I really enjoy doing these lives. I will add more when it hits $16. Star Print will print money. Starlink will print money. We can call it Star Print. Good afternoon, Mickey, channel member in the house. Thank you for joining. Appreciate it. Come on, refresh. I'm waiting for comments to come in. I can see I've got some more, but I can't see them. Okay, got one. I've been selling off my Palantir above 20, will likely buy back below 15. I guess what you're doing right now then is I'm assuming you're either taking that money out of your portfolio and using it elsewhere, or you're circulating that money into positions that you've got that are perhaps that have come down a little bit more, I'm assuming. How often do you find yourself looking at stocks? It's basically a replacement for scrolling socials at this point. Yeah, when the stock market is open, often. And the thing is, it's weird because I'm not looking at it to wait till it hits a certain price to then buy in. I'm just looking at it out of interest and out of habit. Like you said, I just click on it. It's just habitual now. But I suppose it's a little bit better than social media, maybe. How will you allocate the portfolio with just Tesla and Palantir in it? I don't just have Tesla and Palantir in my portfolio. You can see what I've got in my portfolio by watching one of my portfolio update videos. I've got a few different other individual stocks, and I've got an ETF that tracks the S&P 500 index in a different account. And then I've got a crypto portfolio on the side that I don't really share on YouTube. But Tesla and Palantir are my two largest holdings. At the moment, Tesla is larger than Palantir, and I plan to probably keep it that way for now, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. I'm going to start rounding this up now, guys. It's nearly 1:45. We'll do one more, a couple more. Palantir is still too expensive and overvalued. I will buy more when the price is below 15. I sold 300 at $20.50. I still own 1,000. Palantir is my largest position. I appreciate that comment, and I appreciate that comment because that's a really, in my opinion, a well-rounded response. You've not gone emotional either way. You've not said Palantir is rubbish, don't buy, it's a hype stock, and you've also not said the other option. So I like that. You've got your strategy. You've obviously thought about your risks, what works best for you, when you want to take profit, when you don't, what you want your biggest position in your portfolio to be, and you've come to that conclusion. So I think that's very, very good. Okay, guys, let's wrap it up here for today. I appreciate you, as always. I appreciate you for coming. We will have another live stream tomorrow, as always, and then we will have one on Friday. And yeah, I don't know. I'm just feeling very happy that I have support and people like coming and like listening to me and enjoy and find my research valuable. So thank you. Have a great rest of your Wednesday. I hope you're all getting into the Christmas spirit. Go and put yourself a nice red or green jumper on like myself. And hopefully you guys will enjoy the video that comes out later tonight on the channel. And as always, thank you. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye, everyone.